Yo, what's poppin', my people? It's your big homie Quickster Great, aka CTG, and I'm back at you guys with another banger of a UFC video. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at one of the worst injuries I think we've ever seen in the UFC Octagon, that being Robert Whittaker's shattered jaw and his teeth actually being pushed in from the squeeze of Khamzat Chimaev. Now, for those of you guys that watched the event like I did yesterday, you guys probably thought, like, Robert Whittaker, that was a premature stoppage. Like, he tapped pretty fast. And I was like, there's something going on. Either, like, you know, Khamzat hurt him. But little did I know, it was going to be one of the nastiest injuries I think I've ever seen in my 12, 13 years of watching UFC fights. So, he did have a shattered jaw. So, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at it right here. You see his teeth are pushed back in. And a lot of people thought, you know what, like maybe he broke his teeth, but it really came from a shattered jaw. So I looked it up, and luckily one of the doctors that I actually follow on YouTube broke this down. He's known for doing sports breakdowns on injuries, or injuries on sports or breakdowns, on sports injuries. And he luckily made this video yesterday after the fight because he got a lot of requests from it. So I'm going to let you guys watch this clip from his video, and then we'll touch a little bit more on what we saw.
Posterior. If we look at our biodigital anatomy tool here, we can highlight and see what exactly we're talking about with that anatomy. So this lower bone right here, that's going to be the mandible. This portion is going to be the temporomandibular joint located right up there. You can feel that move. When somebody dislocates their jaw, it's going to be that joint up here that gets dislocated. But then you can see how the teeth are anchored into that underlying bone. And so in Whittaker's case, basically these three front teeth anchored into the lower portion of the jaw got crushed from that forearm that Khamzat Chimaev applied, causing a fracture, causing that bit of the jaw and the teeth to displace backwards up into his mouth. Now, treatment of this is going to be some type of surgery to put those teeth, that bone back in place, plate, potentially braces across the teeth. Real possibility here that Whittaker might end up having his jaw wired shut for some time. So this is a serious injury. There's also some nerves that travel along these areas. This little hole right here, there's some nerves that come out that help supply innervation to your teeth. When you go to the dentist, you have your teeth numb. Those are the nerves that they're targeting. So if we look at this anatomy model, think of those teeth anchored into that lower portion of the mandible. So looking back at that picture now, envisioning that anatomy model where all these teeth are anchored into that lower jaw of the mandible and seeing these three displaced back, again, mandible fracture, not a jaw dislocation. And if we look at that replay one last time, again, this all happens because of that position of Khamzat's arm on the lower portion of the jaw. If this was a choke submission, he would have had the arm underneath his jaw, but instead you can see it slip up right there. That left arm anchors in front, the lower portion.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and pause it right there, and I'm going to actually get this up off the screen because I don't want UFC trying to copyright my stuff. But anyways, and I'm not going to continue to show you guys that either, because those of you guys that don't do well with, like, you know, things that look kind of nasty, I'm going to pull that off there. But so as you guys can see, something that we routinely see in a lot of fights, especially when fighters have opponents on their back, normally if somebody's trying to get a rear naked choke, they'll kind of crank on that jaw to kind of just make it, they put a lot of pressure on that jaw to either try to get their opponent to do something, or they're trying to get them to tap, or sometimes they'll even go for a neck crank right there as well. They put a lot of pressure on that jaw, and it's something that we see very routinely in grappling matches as well as in UFC fights. But for his jaw to break is really a testament to Khamzat Chimaev's grip strength. I mean, the fact that this guy put so much pressure on Robert Whittaker's jaw is crazy. And if you guys think about how tough Robert Whittaker's jaw is, we'll use this as an example. Robert Whittaker fought Yoel Romero twice and took absolute bombs from Robert Whittaker, or from Yoel Romero, and still it never broke his jaw. He took crazy shots from Dricus du Plessis, never got his jaw broken. Took shots from Israel Adesanya, arguably the best welterweight, or the best middleweight of all time. Sorry, not welterweight, middleweight of all time. didn't break his jaw. But all it took was some grip strength from Khamzat Chimaev on the ground to absolutely annihilate Robert Whittaker's jaw, man. It's crazy. And like the doctor said, he didn't break his teeth. He fractured his jaw to the point where those 3 teeth in front got pushed back damn near into his tongue. They're not broken. There's nothing wrong with those 3 teeth that are in there. The jaw just got fractured in a way where it pushed those front 3 teeth all the way into the back. And I mean, for Robert Whittaker, it's a tough injury because he's gonna have to more than likely get his jaw sewn shut, which sucks. If you guys have ever seen somebody or known somebody that has that, it's a very, very tough thing to go through. And then on top of that, once he gets his jaw's unclenched, he's going to have to like learn how to regain that strength down in his lower jaw because of the fractures that he had down there. It's a very, very lengthy process, and it's gonna take quite a long time. So there's a high chance that we don't see Robert Whittaker fight possibly until 2026 with the injury, because it's gonna take a long time for him to get that strength back, as well as, you know, just get comfortable with getting hit there again is gonna be tough. So this is a tough one for me, especially because Robert Whittaker is my favorite fighter in the UFC. If you guys have been around my channel long enough, I absolutely love Robert Whittaker, man. He's basically like one of the nicest fighters you'll ever find, bro. Like, it's crazy. So it was really, really heartbreaking for me to see him get injured like that. But, you know, that's the name of the game. MMA is a brutal, brutal sport. But let me know in your guys' opinion, what do you guys think is the worst injury? Is this the worst injury you guys have ever seen in the UFC? Or maybe it's like the Chris Weidman leg break. Or maybe it's the Anderson Silva leg break. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's one of those things. Or maybe it's something else. Let me know in the comment section. What is the worst injury you guys have seen? I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say, as well as read your guys' comments. But that's it for the video, guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to slap that subscribe button as well as slap that like button. I'd really, really appreciate it, so that way the content does get spread more in the YouTube algorithm. But until next time, my people, take it easy, be safe, enjoy the rest of your guys' day, afternoon, evening, depending on where you guys are watching this from. And I will see you guys in the next video.